Sunday, Blaenau Ffestiniog. A sweeping aerial view of the town in the valley. Thomas stands on a hilltop.
Felly, mae'r amser wedi dod. Time has come. The future is here. Its people are here, among us. All week we've heard their voices, we've seen them, listened to them. Well, some of us have listened to them. People with knowledge of the lives we are yet to live, and now we here in Blaenau Ffestiniog, we are the very last who can still hear them. The signal is shrinking. By tonight, it will be gone. And with it, this moment, this opportunity given to us here, I ni, fyma. Why us? Why here? I still can't tell you. I wish I could, but fedra I ddim. Dwi jyst methu coelio'r peth. I mean, we're all so used to seeing and hearing the past, aren't we? All of us. We have it at our fingertips all the time in messages, videos, voice notes. Those who we love die, become silent, but their voices live on. They remain present, and because of that, we can ease our grief or feel it more keenly. Whichever, the relationship with that person remains vital. And so it continues. A chain of remembering, of care, love, yn estyn yn ôl drwy'r oesoedd. But what is the chain of care in the other direction? What of those yet to be born? What of their voices, their lives, grown as they are from ours? What relationship do we have with them? Yr rhai sydd eto i'w geni. What griefs do we feel for them? If I'm being honest, before this week happened, for me, the answer to those questions was none. The future, for me, was faceless, without feeling. It didn't exist, and so was dead, I suppose. But now, ond wan, erbyn hyn, da ni 'di clywed nhw, gweld nhw. We have seen the future generations, our older selves, and so they are no longer dead, but here, and here, and here. But why? That's what I don't understand. What does it mean? Why now? Pam? Fyma?
He sits down on a rock.
Breichlet o dref ar asgwrn y graig. A town like a bracelet on the bone of the rock. That is how one of our poets once described this place. A town built on slate, by slate. Wasn't always like this, of course. Farming originally, dim ond amball I deulu. Only a few families. But then the slate was found and all changed. And not just in the landscape either. Went in a couple of years from those few families to 15,000 people. And dod o bob man, cofiwch chi, came from all over, they did. And so the Blaenau we now know was born, reaching wildly for its future. It was all about the years ahead then, wasn't it? The railway, the start of the line, not the end. The town that roofed the world, a dyfodol. This place was the future back then. That's how it thought of itself, anyway, how it saw itself. But then time moved on. Things changed. But for the communities that had grown around those industries, how they saw themselves didn't change, did it? Defined by our pasts, by us and by others. By the time I was a kid here, it was like the inner city without the city. There was no future here. Dyna be oedden nhw'n ddeud wrthyn ni. That's what they told us. Get out if you want to get on. Ond, newid eto. Change came again. In music this time. In the local bands that gave voice to who we were, who we wanted to be. And when that happens, your view shifts. And with a changing view comes possibility again. A new way of seeing. Pam dwi'n deud hyn? Dwi'n. I'm just trying to work it out, I suppose, what this means. And I wonder, is it about that? About seeing ourselves differently? Seeing the truth of now through the eyes of those living 11,000 sunrises from now. Because isn't that what we need? To peel away the obscuring present, the blindfold of now, so we can feel possibility again, to wake up, to forge our identities, not through our relationship with the past, but in our relationship to the future, to who we will be, who we could be. A'r llwch yn drwch ar draws bywydau brau, and heavy lies the dust upon fragile lives. Another of our poets. But isn't that how it feels for so many of us now? Heavy dust on our fragile lives. We've worked the chambers home. Dyna be oedden nhw'n dweud. That's what the quarrymen said when they'd exhausted a slate cavern. And that's where we are. We've worked them until they are empty and echoing. We've come as far as we can doing things like this. So maybe that's why now. That's why here, the voices from the future reaching back. And now her, Eva, a true source come among us, someone who has been there, seen then, who says she will show us the future. I have so many questions, so many, but time is running out. When the signal goes, she will be gone. That's what we think, anyway. I guess we'll just have to see, won't we? What she says. What's next? Be nesa.
As the light dims, Thomas picks up his coat and sets off down the hill.
Dwi just yn gobeithio nawn ni wrando. I just hope that they will listen, that we will all listen. Yn bod ni heb anghofio sut I wrando. That we haven't forgotten how to listen to her and to ourselves, I suppose. So many questions, but maybe that's the only one that matters. Will we listen?
He turns and walks away toward the town. Thomas walks on through woodland and out onto a small country road between the hills. We follow him closely as he heads down the road to a flat, open space.
The building. Yeah, it was like a building and it had like a really big hat, and then the third one, it's like an alien sort of thing, and it had these really big. Oh my God, those fucking there.
Beneath a haphazardly erected arch of scaffold poles,
No, this is, I can't believe how big this whole thing is. Oh my God, and Ever was like, yeah, I know. I've been following you for so long, Thomas's mom. Oh yeah, you met Thomas.
inside, crowds of people wait, bundled up against the weather. A platform has been erected, scaffolding and wooden pallets, hung with bright painted banners.
Dad is ill, but he's literally glued to his phone. He's following everything, and he's fighting forever at home. No, he's spreading the word.
Rory, Alicia, Max and Rodri stand at the top.
Hey!
Thomas moves through the crowd,
Unrhyw.
shaking hands. Delighted at the people who have gathered.
Hiya, right, how are you? Have you done all this? Who did this? Put it in.
This is insane.
Chi na ddyn? Put ydych chi in?
I'm scared.
Mae'n yna anhygoel.
Coming.
Mae'n wych. Diolch yn fawr. Diolch yn fawr. Chi na ddyn, ia? Bobl ifanc Blaenau, fydden coelio bod chi wedi gwneud hyn dros nos, ne?
Oh my God. Thomas.
I know you.
You're the blogger guy.
You're Ella's friend.
Blogger guy. Yeah.
I saw you in a video from Swansea.
Yeah. I'm Alicia.
Alicia, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Mae'n wych. Ydym credu hyn.
It's crazy. She's here. She's here. She's here.
Ella's here.
She's here.
Here.
Oh. She's here. Eva.
Eva?
Eva approaches slowly through the crowd. Thomas goes to her. They exchange a smile and bump fists. Eva goes to climb the ladder to stand aloft on the platform. Banners around her read, "Let the slate not be silent, let it sing," and "The future is in our hands." She turns to address the crowds below.
Mae debyg bod rai ohonoch chi 'di clywed amdano fi? Or see me online even? The girl from the future, that's what they're saying apparently. Mae'r dyfodol yma! The future is here! But it's true. I am from 2052. Yn gynharach yr wythnos hon, dwi dal ddim yn deall sut. But earlier this week, and I know how this sounds, yn gynharach yr wythnos hon, rhywsut, somehow, during a storm, I swapped into myself at just 16. My 46-year-old mind swapped into me. O ddeng mlynedd ar hugain yn ôl. O nawr. I didn't know how long it would last. But as you can see, mae 'di bod yn fwy girl from the past I fi. Up until late last night, I didn't want to do this. Talk to you or anyone. Beth sy'n digwydd nesa? Pa fath o brofiad profiad yw I, what it's like in 52. I mean, who knows if I did, what or who I'd be going back to. But then, some people that I met this week, they've helped me to see that maybe, and I'm not sure, but maybe that's exactly why I'm here. To show you the future all of us are traveling to. And who knows? Maybe if I do, you'll get there sooner than we did. Dwi'n gobeithio.
She gazes out at the landscape.
Can you feel the heat? It's autumn, but there's still warmth in the air. And always is this time of year. Bird song, can yr adar. But something unfamiliar, isn't there? Migratory, see. They stop here now, go no further, and stay for the winter. Mae nosi, y dydd yn mynd y dywyllach, yn wrth i'r golau ddisgyn, mae'r cicadas yn codi, yn llenwi'r bryniau hyn a'i hwyr. So many insects have gone, but then they came. It's how it goes, I suppose. Loss and gain. Up on the ridges, the turbines are turning, and under the sound of their blades, a long sweep, like a deep train passing, and gravitational batteries down in the mines dropping to release the power of the hydro and solar up on the reservoir. And that soft thump. That's them landing before rising again. Curiad calon y brynia. The hill's heartbeat. Dyna mae pobl yn ei alw. Yma, lle rydyn ni nawr, mae gerddi vertigol, vertical gardens covering every slope and cliff. Gwasgariad o studios o lieutenant, repair shops, a caff. And down in the town, thick with trees, a double-decker train is leaving for Conwy. There's solar panel sleepers glinting in the sun, the refueling centre, hydrogen and car sheds, and above them, an airship passes out ac allan a thros fôr Iwerddon. And below, the seagrass and kelp make their maps in the water. A llongau cargo, the cargo boats, eu hwyliau llawn gwynt yn dychwelyd adra. Ymhellach I lawr y ddyffryn, I gyfeiriad tan y grisiau, turf-roofed houses made out of salvage, built into the hills to withstand the winds. But high-tech too, though, to handle the data coming from the Cargwyllt Music Centre. Yr oel gyntaf wrth gwrs yn 2025, a dyfod o'r studio I lawr yn Cellba, and that soon became a mecca I gerddorion a chynhyrchwyr ledled y byd, and then the production centre. And those people, they started staying for longer. So those houses down beyond Tanygrisie, they aren't holiday homes. Na, maen nhw'n gytrefi go iawn, yn cael ei byw yn fentrygydol y flwyddyn ac nid yn unig gan y criw gerddoriaeth. Because towards the end of the 20s, see, the word started to spread. Blaenau was doing things differently. So when people started escaping in their millions from Holland, Germany, and other low-lying countries, neu o'r tanau a Cyneefa a Fethwyd yng Ngwlad Groeg, Morocco, Tunisia, some of them came here. And then again, after the exodus in Southeast Asia, yn ar llifogydd yn ar gyfyng diffyg dŵr yn Dwyrain Lloegr, they came and made Blaenau their home. became part of the community, an experiment of new ways to be. And that's how I first heard about Blaenau Ffestiniog, as one of a network of communities, all doing their own version of the wider changes happening then, setting up local grids, self-organising, siarad efo'n gilydd, dysgu oddi wrth ein gilydd a phob un ohonynt wedi ei danio gan y newydd ddyfodiad by the people who had had to leave their homes, who had lost everything, and sometimes everyone, to the changes. Tre Herbert, Ynys Owen, Machynlleth a mynydd Cilfei fy hun yn ôl yn Abertawe. It was a turning point for Wales. I mean, we'd always been a nation of sanctuary, but suddenly we saw that so many of us were living with our eyes closed. But then we knew that if we wanted to thrive and not just survive, we'd need more people, not fewer. And we also knew that we need agency and independence and the say in the choices made to determine our future. Nid oedd yn hawdd. It was not easy. Nid oedd pawb yn meddwl mai dyna oedd y ffordd I fynd am y rai yn 52 dal ddim. And a lot of other things weren't easy too, because everyone living here now is a child of what happened in the 20s and 30s. Mae pawb hefyd mewn rhyw ffordd yn blentyn o golled a galar, a child in some way of grief and loss. But because of that, the biggest change wasn't in the climate. It was in us. Arno ni. And y ffordd y gwelsam pethau. A shift in our perception about the nature of our values and the value of nature. And how the tale we'd been told of growth and growth and growth with no account of the cost. The true cost for us wasn't growth at all, just death. And we saw, just in time, that instead of living at the end of everything, we could be living at the beginning of something. And once we got a taste of that, it all had to change, didn't it? Felly dyna beth ddigwyddodd. Yma, ac ar hyd ar led y wlad, people started to imagine new ways to produce, to farm, to earn, to govern, and those imaginings became action, and that action became hope. And not sitting on the sidelines kind of hope, not a watch and comment type of hope, na, nerf, her, o waith, o weithredu, oedd hwnna, a radical hope. Then all of that, the vision, the imagining, y dychmygu, y gweledigaeth, the belief that things can be done differently, have to be done differently. They didn't come out of nowhere, did they? No. Like the strongest of trees, they had the deepest of roots, reaching far back as 20, 30, 40 years to the questions and hopes and ideas that all of you are having here now. Which is why, if we look in the right places now, os gwrandewch ar y pobl cywir nawr, you'll understand why I think saying the future is here because I am is wrong. It isn't. Mae'r dyfodol yma achos bod chi yma. The future future is here because you are. Because it doesn't just happen, does it? Na mae'n cael ei chreu, ei ddychmygu, ei obeithio. It's created, hoped for, imagined. Just like all of you are doing right now. Imagining in your minds all that I've said. The heat, yr adar, the gardens, y trenau, y tai, the turbines, the change, the people, y coed, the skies, y cerddoriaeth, the people, y mwynglodau, the people, y pŵer, y syniad, y newid, y frwydr, the people, the change, the power, the people, the change, the people who have come here from all over the world, who have come here, who have escaped and come here. Y pobl sydd yma, who have joined you here, not to sink or to fail or to fall, but to rise, I godi, to rise and open your eyes. Agorwch eich llygad. Look around you. Look around you. Agora dy lygad. Open your eyes. The future is here.
At the crash, the lights flicker.
Eva?
Thomas starts from the crowd.
Eva? Eva, mewn ddigwydd. It's happening just like Ivan said it would. Os ti eisiau mynd adra, if you want to get home. Mae'n rhaid i fynd, rwan. We've got to get you up to the lake, Eva. Now. Not now, in a minute, now.
Eva climbs down from the platform and hurries through the crowd toward the gate. Her friends race after her. Stewards clad in high-vis with megaphones herd the spectators after them, a stream of people taking to the quiet road. They carry banners or fluorescent tubes of light. They bang makeshift drums. There are people young and old, families with children. An exodus. Eventually, the yard around the scaffolding is deserted. Alicia, in her jacket of patchwork neon, one of the last to leave. She takes up the rear, gazing about at all they have created, at the structures and the banners. She looks lost, bewildered, breathing hard. As she follows the masses out into the town. The white fluorescence of the tube lights her face as she makes it out onto the street and trails after the crowd down the long road. She stares about herself, uncertain at the place she's known all her life. The stewards hurry her along. The crowd are beginning to pile up ahead as the road narrows. Alicia searches to and fro for her friends. She sweeps the braids from her face. And continues down the long road past verges of scrubby grass and dry stone walls. Weaving between the crowds of strangers. Alicia waves to Max up ahead and begins to smile as she is caught up in the crowd's chanting. The light tubes glow pure white against the dusk. Alicia pushes on. Ahead, the crowd are beginning to pile up again. As they reach a gate, we follow Alicia as she passes through it.
Carry that sign.
Alicia looks frantically from face to face, searching for someone familiar. She spies Max and Rodri stood on a low wall. They sign to each other with expressions of confusion. Alicia pulls out her phone. The procession winds on, along a wide rocky path. A steep slate scree-covered slope to their left. To the right, a cluster of houses in the valley below. A young man perches upon a ledge, dancing in the twilight, stance wide, arms rippling. The friends run on. The path here is edged with lines of light. Tiny gold bulbs glow candle-like in the gloom. A group bang on oil drums by the side of the path. Max, wide-eyed in her luminous tie-dye, stares around in amazement and apprehension. She begins to hyperventilate, blinking tears from her eyes. They pass another dancer, a young woman with a glazed expression shaking rigid limbs. And another shimmying and swaying in the low light. They press on, the contrast between light and shadow growing starker with each step. Max signs to Rodri. You were right to dream. You were right to be optimistic. You were right to be hopeful. Rodri smiles. Breaking away, he runs to join a group constructing a series of shapes and symbols from the neon tubes. Max begins to smile, softening into the party atmosphere. Ahead, floodlights have been set up. The sky beyond is deepening to black. The symbol Efa in light breaks apart as those holding it scatter and race along the path. They scramble over a low rise and hurry across a dark flat to a distant pool of light. The procession is slowing, a crowd expanding. We move between the gathered people. To where Alicia has found Rory.
I was over there.
He looks agitated as she hauls him through the crowd to Max and Rodri.
No one's seen it.
The friends go on together, Rodri signing frantically to Max. Lights glimmer in the hedgerows beside them. They pass a man stood upon a rocky peak, waving a red flag to and fro. In the crowd, Rian speaks on her phone. Thomas stands on the outskirts, a light bar in his hand, his brow creased with worry. He smiles. A banner carried in the crowd reads, "It's gonna get hotter." We follow Thomas into the darkness, away from the masses. He stares into the sky as the lights behind him dwindle. We close on his lined face. The wind tugs at his hair. He slows as he searches the darkness ahead. And the vivid orange of Effa's jacket appears through the gloom. She turns to look at him. And they continue side by side. Ahead of them, a bright blue point of light pierces the rising mist. The waters of the lake rise in a bubble of spray about it. Effa shares another look with Thomas. And Max reaches to take her hand. Effa and Max walk back toward the edge of the crowd, lapsing in and out of shadow. The line of light twinkles ahead of them as they approach across the shale edging the water. Max guides her, bearing the light bar. Effa's expression remains pensive as they traipse through the mud. A group of neon-clad people gather to keep pace with them, bearing their lights in front of them like an honor guard. Max and Effa smile at each other. Effa's eyes lock on her friends at the edge of the crowd. Her entourage drops away, but she keeps walking, past them and out toward the water. Where lights play eerily in tones of sultry red, midnight blue and verdant green upon the bubble of spray at the edge of the long jetty. She halts, looking out at it, as it ripples and expands. Pulsing with waves of colour. Effa's friends catch up with her. As Effa watches in the inky rainbow glow of the bubble, red flares are lit, and her friends proceed to dance, sweeping, swooping and leaping with joyous abandon. Rory takes her hand.
am here, yes, here. On the bridge we stood as boys, girls, and others, watching
The flares
sands
are extinguished.
shifting, rocks guarding over colorful zone fluoride crystal of metatithio, and the bay
Effa returns to the
Pembrokeshire
jetty.
with dunes and pine trees flourish, prawns, seashells swinging on westerlies, riding on turtle shells in waves through Menai Stretch. And you, yes you, the time is now. Wake up,
She hugs each of her friends in turn. Max last of all. As she paces down the jetty, the light intensifies into an aurora of sharp blue-white.
I'm scared, man. I'm so scared. I'm scared that it hasn't yet. Not like properly. Not really, though. And I'm scared of the things that you lot have done in 2022 and how it's affected us.
Effa hesitates, looks back. She turns to us, the bubble reflects her face. Her friends leap and rejoice on the path, passing a trail of light, of hope, of energy from hand to hand as the jetty darkens. The bubble explodes into a misty cloud of pink and blue. Lights flicker and pulse. Across the crowd, lights bob and blaze like fireflies. Golden light ripples outwards. And on the jetty, Ava joins the dance, rocking on the edge of the darkness. And at last heads out into the darkening cloud of water.
Hope is not
She raises her arms.
It is something you have to earn, to create. It cannot be
Electricity
gained
crackles across it.
by and waiting for someone else to do something. It is taking action. It is stepping outside your comfort zone.
Hi, I'm getting in touch from Future to tell you a huge thank you for creating the green and community in Wales. As I know, it's just one few friends gathering together, but today it is a community of thousands of people with a freedom in each bigger town. Please, don't give up on your dreams, but love moving and
To the truth, the opportunity are coming your way. Make a difference in your life.
The bubble expands like a ball of plasma,
Because you don't know hardship
constricts.
but always to yourself and don't forget your skills, tradition, faith, and values. It's not one, but it's always there.
Effa moves with it. As the light collapses, she sags.
Can you hear me?
And it bursts anew. She jolts upright, limbs jerking. Darkness falls. A single point of white light glimmers on the lake. It flickers faintly, and through the shadows, Effa returns. Into the light and the arms of her waiting friends. She embraces Max and Rodri. Leaps into Rory's arms. They celebrate together.
You made me cry. Thomas kind of helped us get back. Saved you. So. Thank you.
If I know it's you.
We pull back along the shore, leaving her alone.